Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy, Gian Special back here with another Nintendo NX gaming video. This time, I'm trying to do a little bit more delving into some more technical stuff, according to the streamer from 110K via NeoGaf. I've left the link to his post at the bottom of the description, so you can check it out for yourself. Let's just delve straight into it because he's got time for talky talks. Right. So number one. Okay, but quick disclaimer before we start. He mentioned he's got various tier types for the rumors. So tier one is one source, spoke about it or verified it with him. Tier two is two sources and etc. So the higher the tier level, the more people have been speaking about it, and perhaps the more likelihood of it actually being true. So okay, first of all, he's got some tier three stuff. So this is a few different people speaking about it. Number one, he has that the NX control pad will be more like the Wii U gamepad. I mean, I spoke about it in the previous video. I thought that that would have been a good idea to continue with it because I think that it's a very unique control scheme, and I think it allows for gameplay to be expressed or displayed in a completely different way. For example, Assassin's Creed 3 on the Wii U, it had you could put the entire HUD onto the gamepad, so you can have a fully panoramic view of the game. That was really impressive, especially with the naval battles. And I didn't get Black Flag on Wii U, but I'm assuming that it was the same, which I think would be really, really impressive. And if the MX is as powerful as it's being rumored to be, 4K gaming and with no HUDs around it, ooh, that would just be absolutely picture perfect, literally. So that would be really cool. It goes on to say that the gamepad, let's just call it the gamepad for now. The NX gamepad has similar streaming tech to the Wii U's in terms of being able to stream the content being generated from the console onto the gamepad itself. And here's the interesting part: they're saying that is going to be part of the gimmick of the NX, but it goes further than the Wii U did. It's and I really hope this is true. This will be so this would be amazing. So they're saying that it could potentially be able to play games, console games, completely separate away from the console, which we've all been rumored, this hybrid portable. They're saying it's not a portable in terms of it's like a 3DS replacer, but it would allow you, maybe through Wi-Fi or for different forms of connectivity, be able to completely separate yourself away from the console, so you could, in theory, walk out your house and still play 4K. I'm just getting out about that 4K thing, but 4K. Let's say, for example, Super Mario Galaxy 3. Just because of how impressive Galaxy 1 and 2 looked. Imagine being able to play that on the go. Ooh, oh boy. Nintendo, please, 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 that would be absolutely, that would just be spice on spice. Ooh, okay. Okay, yeah. And then he went on to mention in his speculation now, so of that tier 3 rumor, that it could have maybe like a dongle or an extra accessory that allows for the game streaming to be more fluent when you're away from the console itself. So you could have like maybe a USB dongle that plugs into the controller itself. So when you're away from the console, when you're outdoors, you don't get that latency, which would be really, really useful. Especially if you're going to be streaming these amazingly, demanding games that a lot of games are starting to become now. So that would be really impressive. Okay, moving on to tier two. So that means less people have been speaking or verifying it with him. He said that Luigi's 3 is in development. Luigi's 3? What? Luigi's Mansion, even. Luigi's Mansion 3 is in development. To be honest, the amount of people that are saying it kind of feels like it might be more valid, more probable. So, I would just really, really like that. I think that Nintendo, like I've always said, has got such a great IP library to lean back on and to delve into when the time's right. And I think it would be a little bit reminiscent of the GameCube in a way, with having a Luigi's Mansion be a launch game again. That would be really, really cool. Um, I think he deserves his own game once again. He's a great character, and I think it would just be really cool if Nintendo could once again showcase what they're working with in terms of their own console for the beginning, just to show off. And you know how Nintendo always love to show. Obviously, because they are the creators, they're going to be able to show you various things that a console can do, showcase it in a way that other developers might not have thought about yet. So this is show, this is what the NX is capable of. So maybe we can get some really cool stuff happening in the game. You never know. Let's hope. Let's hope. Let's hope. Right. Moving on, sadly, to the less verified stuff. So it's a bit more outlandish now, and it gets a little bit technical. So get ready for that. We have the first one is that the NX will be as powerful as the next PS4, PS4 4.5, PS4 4K, whatever you want to call it. They're saying that apparently it is a very easy console to port current gen games onto, which is really, really good. That puts Nintendo in a really great place in terms of being able to delve into previous games that have already come out that people are still playing, so or haven't played yet, or are in the process of being developed right now, which would be really, really good. A lot of great games I can think about upcoming that people aren't necessarily on the fence about. So they might go, well, since I've got the PS4, like me, I go, well, since I've got the PS4, I can get so and so and so and so. It's okay. I don't have to worry about it. But now Nintendo can be part of that conversation now. So it's not just, oh, I'm just gonna play my NX because for Mario because you can't get that on PS4. It's like, well, I don't really need my PS4 so much anymore because I can get my Witcher 3s and my Fallout 4s and my Mafia 3. I don't even know. Some outlandish. Who knows? If this NX is how it's being described as powerful as the PS4, if they're really trying to bring in third party developers, why not have a game so outlandish as Mafia 3? Okay, yeah, it's an 18 rating, but it's not the first 18 rated game that Nintendo ever had on their console, so why would it be the last? Why not start thinking outside the box as a Nintendo fan about the possibilities, the types of games that we could play on the console? And I've said it before, and I think that Nintendo are in a great place in terms of being able to accommodate for younger audiences and for more casual gamers. But they might have lost a little bit of touch with a lot more what you would call hardcore games that play games that are more adult orientated. And being able to once again offer that to people to say, no, you can have the best of both worlds. Don't worry about any kind of game you want to play, we can provide that. And if NX is capable of doing that, wow, Nintendo were back. But they weren't gone in the first place, but it would just be really, really great. It would be a complete polar opposite to the Wii U in terms of it had a lot of great games that were a little bit adult orientated, but so obscure. Unless you had a Wii U, you wouldn't have known, you wouldn't have played them. Which goes back to the whole idea of the previous Rumour video about saying with the 4K, they're going to do upscales of and re-releases of Wii U games. Yeah, all of the great games that I think they should just do all of them. Like I said previously, I don't think that they should do a 4K remaster of Splatoon. They should just make a sequel, but that's neither here nor there. I want to flat tangent that. Sorry, just get a bit embroiled in it all. Continuing on with the tier 3 Rumour, no, not tier 3, yeah, tier 2, sorry, tier 2 Rumour. He goes on to say that games that are on PS4 that hold 30 frames per second will drop below 30 frames per second on the NX based on the power or the chipset that it's rumored to have. It could hold that quite easily, and it has power to spare already, which is what I've said from the very beginning, is that Nintendo need to do future proofing because the Wii U wasn't future proof. And I'm hoping that they've learned the lesson from that, because the Wii U was underpowered before it even came out, and then the PS4 and Xbox One blew it out the water and it couldn't keep up. Don't get me wrong, there are really great looking games on the Wii U, but let's be honest, I don't see Arkham Knight running on the Wii U or Witcher 3. Yeah, I would love those games to have been on the Wii U, but let's be honest, the Wii U just wasn't powerful enough, and if Nintendo can't avoid that anymore. They can't avoid, oh no, no, don't worry about power. We'll just innovate within each of our life and it will cover us. There's nothing wrong with being innovative. Obviously, that's Nintendo's forte, but let's just have a bit of power behind it too, just to, keep us nice and safe. We can innovate with the power rather than just have to innovate and compensate because of a lack of power. Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. He went on to say, actually, no, do you know what? I was going to talk about the technical speak, but since I've left the link, you can just read that. And if you can make sense of it, you can make sense of it. I'm not going to bother boring you with all of it. But I will mention one part. There's, I don't know what it means, but there's it may use a Polaris GPU, and that GPU could be, or is said to be, at least twice as powerful as the PS4's GPU. So if Nintendo were already playing around with that kind of tech, like I've said before, and I think that they should do, they're obviously thinking about future proofing, making sure that the console can last the long race, it can put up the good fight for as long as it needs to, for as long as this console generation may end up going, if not further. It can continue chugging out great looking games and not worry about being left behind, falling behind the technology or the time, so to speak, because PS4 and Xbox One still have plenty of years left in them, but the technology is moving so quickly that, a lot of the games that are coming out are going to start becoming really labor intensive on the consoles themselves. So that is probably why Xbox and we'll just call them Xbox. And yeah, we'll just call them Xbox. I can't remember to call them Microsoft right now. Xbox and Sony are probably looking into trying to do, enhanced versions of their current gen consoles because they think, let's just do a little bit more future proofing. Like we did it already, but let's do a bit more, which is fine. I think that's a good idea, to be honest. You want to be able to have longevity, which is kind of the key here, because if you don't have it, you're gone. So that would be nice. Okay, moving on. This doesn't surprise me in the slightest, but I don't think it's so much a rumor as it is just kind of obvious, sort of. But anyway, he says that most of the dev kits haven't been handed out to developers at the moment, or dev kits haven't really got out to most developers, which isn't surprising. But he said that Nintendo may be waiting until at least after they unveil it. So maybe if it's to be believed. Sorry, this may reveal before the E3 reveal. If that happens, we're hoping it does. If that happens, then developers will start seeing more actual dedicated dev kits as opposed to just whatever they're using at the moment, which would be good because then they can start saying, oh, for sure we know this is what it's capable of, this is what it can and can't do, which would be really great. Apparently, there are loads and loads and loads of games. I say loads and loads. I'm getting a bit hot there. The hype just starts making you overestimate. Apparently, there are quite a lot of games being developed for the system at the moment, whether that means that they're remakes, upscales, reboots, new IPs. It doesn't say, but I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that most of them are probably gonna be new. Games are either new or games that we've already been announced but for other platforms, and that Nintendo obviously couldn't start because they're still trying to focus on the consoles they have out right now. So they're not going to go, oh, and it's also for the NX, which isn't going to be called NX when we end up releasing it. So we just won't bother adding it to the list at all. So that could be the case. I think if it's true, the NX won't be the Wii U repeated because that was a problem. Is that it felt a bit, it hurt as a Nintendo fan to see at E3 all these different developers saying, yeah, we love Nintendo great, and especially Ubisoft. Ubisoft didn't hear just a bunch of snakes. They were like, oh yeah, we love Nintendo, they're so great, they're so great. And then the support just disappeared. And it was like, oh man, like, way to just have no confidence in us at all. Like, you didn't even stick around. The first chance to jump ship and you did. But obviously that means that Nintendo lost a lot of third-party support, which means that they didn't have a lot of games in development from third parties, so they had to depend on their own IPs and second-party stuff. And obviously, there were great games that, because it's Nintendo, I mean, they came hard and they came out with great games like Splatoon, Bayonetta, and Mario. Obviously, just gonna fall back on that one too. Mario, Pokemon Tournament, Xenoblade, all of those great games. It just was like, it's nice to have third-party support. Nintendo can deal with it themselves, but it's crucial to have third-party support just to show that audiences can have confidence in you now, that they can, like I was mentioning before, can play games that they want to play without having to swap systems. They can just pop in FIFA, pop in COD, pop in Battlefield, Battlefront even. You can pop in your Witcher 3, your Fallout 4, your GTA 6 even. I mean, imagine GTA on a Nintendo home console. That would just be surreal. And it would be, if the NX is as, and I'm hoping that it is as powerful as everyone is going on about, and that it does have all these great features, Rockstar don't have an excuse not to release it unless Nintendo specifically said we don't want that game. And it's kind of like, well, if you don't want it, just make your own then. Because if this console is that powerful, you can make your own kind of thing. Or so another developer could make a game similar. Everybody loves their open world games now. So what's holding Nintendo back? Right. Then we have, which wouldn't this okay. This is still tier 2, by the way. I think there was a few tier 1s, but I don't think I put them on here. You can double check in the link. I don't know if I mentioned it. There's another one now that says that the NX will be launched. That the NX will be launched outside of Japan first. So I can't remember. There was a console. I can't remember if it was the Wii U or the 3DS. I can't remember exactly which one. If you can remember, you can mention that in the comment section. But it came out outside of Japan first, because if it's still the way I remember or recall it, handheld gaming is a lot more prevalent in Japan than console gaming. Because I know that Xbox is beyond struggling in Japan. Like, no one seems to buy one at all over there. Like, I don't know what it is. It just doesn't seem to do well over there. But obviously, Nintendo is a Japan-born bred company, but still, that doesn't mean that they're not going to be watching how their own market works and thinking to themselves, well, however much resources we have right now, if we can build enough NX or whatever it's going to end up being called to accommodate for people that are going to be more likely to buy a home console straight off the bat, it would make more sense to release it there first, even though they're not based in Japan. It makes more sense to release in countries that are going to want to pick it up sooner. And so you sell off all of that good stock, and while you're selling off that stock, you're building obviously your stockpile for your Japan release, so that even if people are not so quick to pick it up, there's enough for them to pick it up, and you don't have to worry about that too much, and you don't have to worry about when you release it. If you released it in Japan first and no one picked it up, that's a bad situation, because now you don't have anyone buying anything, and you're losing money because you're trying to sell something and no one's buying. Whereas if you're selling already overseas and you're building towards your launch for Japan, you're already making money before you've taken the risk of potentially losing some by selling in a place where it might not sell as quickly. So you're already making money. So you're kind of like, oh, it's all right. No problems. So let's just hope for the better. And this NX, man, I'm just getting so hot. Oh yeah, almost forgot. The final piece I took note of. Like I said, you can go in the link. In fact, I really suggest that you do go and look and read it over, because maybe there's some technical jargon that you might get that I didn't get, so because I skipped that part out. But definitely take a look. He seems like a pretty cool guy based on what I read from him anyway. But the last thing I mentioned that he wrote, so he said that there are new IPs being developed. Don't think he mentions whether it's Nintendo developing them, but I think it's safe to assume that it probably is. But Nintendo. Yo, I'm always ready for new IPs to be shown. I love the whole idea of perhaps even sometimes taking ideas that are years old that you never got to use and creating something new with them. And then you can reveal that 4 or 5 years down the line. Oh yeah, that game I was thinking of something like 20 years before I even made that one. And I just combined those ideas and it became this and I really loves it. And like that would be cool. I think with this transition that Nintendo's gone through in terms of corporate, different old guards taking different roles now, and then the new generation of games developers come in, different mindsets, different wavelengths, different thinking patterns. I think the games that Nintendo are going to release are going to become very different now because I think even Splatoon is kind of evidence of that. That in the beginning, when they first announced it, it was just an online multiplayer matchmaking game. It wasn't matchmaking. Wasn't that? Yeah, technically that's right. Like it was just an online game. It didn't have a storyline or a story mode. But then everyone's kind of like, oh, you should probably make a story mode. So they made a story mode and it's great. But just showing like how Splatoon is, it's a little bit different from it. I mean, it still has that Nintendo essence, but at the same time, it's a little bit different in terms of how Nintendo make games, or types of games that Nintendo are putting on to make. That's why I was glad when I found out that in the beginning it was based on Mario, but then they were like, no, let's change it and make it something different, which is good because you don't want to always have to make everything about Mario. Like, don't get me wrong, he is the icon. He's like the boss of bosses. He's the Don Man boss man, but you don't have to always depend on him. It's good, and like I've always mentioned, and I already mentioned earlier, Nintendo have such a great IP library already. So to add to that even more with games like Splatoon and keep going. And like I've said, I don't know if it's possible somehow, get some of that Bayonetta exclusivity again. Woo, Bayonetta 3 would be spicy. Um, yeah, I had a great conversation on Miiverse about that actually with a couple of people. Crossover with that with DMC, that would be wow, man. Nintendo, man, this stuff writes itself. Like, I don't know, you can make the possibilities are endless. They can make if this NX is so powerful, they can really start to push their own boundaries in terms of what their games look like and how they play and the scale of them. Because I mean, already testing that with Zelda, aren't they? They're saying this with the Wii U one, which we all know is going to be on the NX as well. And if it isn't, then screw up. But yeah, I mean, I just remember from that gameplay video back from well, it's the only real gameplay video they had. And he zoomed out on the gamepad with the map, and the map was just huge. And he's like, "Yep, all of that's the map." It's like, this game is gonna be spicy. So yeah, let's just hope for the best. Um, right now, it's a great time to be a Nintendo fan because of what the possibilities are, and having all of these different rumors that are being mentioned and the validity of them in question because of how many people are saying it and how who's saying it is also will become really important too. You have people that say, yeah, if I a lot of people are being what a lot of a lot of people are saying that they'll be assassinated if they say certain things. And I just laugh because I think you are so brave to go up against Nintendo to speak about what they're doing, and we appreciate it so much, man. Because back then we wouldn't have anything to get hyped over. We'd just be sitting here waiting for Nintendo for E3, and that wait is so long. It's so long. Oh gosh, it feels so. So I'm just ready for whatever Nintendo want to show us. E3 needs to roll through, and I'm hoping, as a lot of people are mentioning, that Nintendo do a pre-E3 reveal like PlayStation did kind of with the PS4, not necessarily showing off the console itself. You leave that to E3, but here's a few of the games developers that we have making some games for us. So here's a few games that we're making, and here's a few games that they're making. So it's a really good time for the Nintendo fans, time to get hyped, and everybody's just riding that hype train. We're just all on that hype train, and the murder mystery is what the NX is. We don't have Pyro on this, we don't have Sherlock, we don't have Pyro, we don't have this Mark. So we're all just having to do that detective skills. And it's fun, man, it's lovely. So this is your boy, JR Spec, once again signing out. And you know what I'm gonna say. If you like this video, hit me up with that subscribe. Hit me up with that like. Don't forget to comment, please. Oh, and share this video. You know, we need to get those viewerships up, man, please. So, once again, it's your boy JR Spec saying, player.